Here we are in Chiapas. This is the southern state of Mexico, which aligns with Guatemala. So this is a big porthole of immigration, legal and illegal, and unfortunately the drug cartels. This is the number one right now where they bring all the drugs into Mexico to get into the United States. I've been doing this for 20 years, a little over 20 years now. But I never dreamed of coming here because my hands are so full in Hidalgo and Puebla and the other states where I work. About 2.5 years ago, February of 2022, I got a phone call from a friend and godson who's originally from Colombia, who works in Mexico City, and he was affiliated with a very large, well-known association. I got a call saying, Nicole, I'm getting all these phone calls. I work with this big place that helps martyrs, families, et cetera, et cetera. It's hard for me to believe. They're telling me that people are getting shot because of their Christian faith, that they're getting killed in front of their families, that the drug cartel are coming in and raping their children in front of them. Just all these horrific stories that are very, very hard to believe. And I was like, well, why are you calling me? I'm 1,000 miles away. And he's like, but you have fought against this for years. You would know, you know what to look for and if this is accurate. So 2 days later, my husband, one of my attorneys, and I all got on a plane and flew here to Chiapas. So that was 2.5 years ago, and it's a long story, but yes, it was high church persecution. We rescued immediately about 26 people who had seen their families martyred in front of them, beaten, some of them had been kidnapped. So we started this just more of a refugee for people who had suffered, primarily Tzotzil and Sintal Indians that we work with here. They are the prime target for the church persecutions. It was in February, first part of February 2022, and by mid-March, we pretty much had those families that we had come to help rescue and to care for, all taken care of. And really, I was heading back to my Puebla Hidalgo children's home to take care of the 60 kids I had there. But in doing what I did to rescue and protect and help the persecuted families and the children, there was like, of the 26 people, it was like 23 children. So it was primarily children we'd rescued. Director of Child Protection and Human Welfare and stuff for the state, they looked at me and said, we can't lose you. We need you. I'm like, surely there's children's homes here. There aren't very many children's homes. There's 2 in this area. And it's a long story, but they don't help the child welfare, the child protection services. They only take in a few kids, and their age limit is 6 to 12. Well, what about the ones 1 to 5? What about the ones 13 to 18? You know, so with tears in their eyes, I had a lot of county and state directors, social workers, psychologists. They said the need is huge. We rescue the children, and within a few days, they're back into the same case scenario, back in the same families. You know, we have orphans, we have abandoned children, abused children that desperately need a safe house, a safe haven, someone to love and care for them and help them with their education. So I talked to my husband, of course, we prayed about it, talked to our staff, and here we are. God miraculously gave us some good supporters and friends, and we're under Mountain Gateway. Britt and Audrey Hancock helped us to purchase this completely in cash, and it was very expensive. What we love about it is we're about 25 minutes from San Cristobal de las Casas, a huge tourist town, which is full of trafficking and drug cartels. But that's where we get a lot of our children from, but we get them from all throughout the state. We bought this because we love it because we're in a little indigenous town, and it already had walls up. We put the barbed wire over it. But when we bought this, it was only this. This was all it was, a house. It was the 4 bedrooms upstairs. So it was a house, and we had to put that together over there, which we used as a kitchen, living room, dining room. But since we moved here, we actually rented a house for a year. We had a children's home and a rented house in San Cristobal for a year. But we've had this since January of 2003. And since then, God has been so gracious to us. And we had 40 kids in a 4-bedroom house. Go figure that. That was not easy. But now, a couple months ago, we finally finished this beautiful girls' dorm that some dear friends helped us financially build this, and it's beautiful. Our limit here, we try not to go over 40 because mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, we have to care for that many kids. And with a smaller staff, we can't do it as well. But we're really blessed. Right now, we have like 32 children here. So we still have a little bit of capacity for girls, or we kind of maxed out on the boys. But so this is what we did since then. We still have a lot of work to do. We want to stucco the walls. We need new dorms because the girls' dorm is actually going to be our chapel eventually one day. But we have two big dogs to help. They're therapy dogs. Masha, Mocha, Masha, Mocha, come. Here's our. They're half Rhodesian. They weren't planned, but we have Rhodesian Ridgebacks, and my son's a police officer. And hey, Masha and Mocha, calm down. See, they're very protective. They are a mixed breed of half Belgium Shepherd and half Rhodesian Ridgeback, and they are so good therapy-wise, and they also protect the children. So in our first 6 months of living here, we had already rescued children from international child sex slavery and trafficking from Guatemala, of course, Mexico, the United States, Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Haiti, Argentina, and Brazil. So when it's international, we work with the immigration system, we work with child protection in both. Once we find out what country they were originally from, we work with child welfare in both countries. But we love what we do here because we're not only rescuing from Mexico and America, stopping in the tracks traffickers who go and deceive unwed mothers or take orphan children or abandoned children, addicts' children, and they get them through the Guatemala border in order to get them to the United States, to Canada, to Europe, and we stop them in their tracks. So we've rescued from 9 different South American countries up to now in the 2.5 years we've been here. Some of the children you'll see here on video, we can't, we have to save their identity, but some of the kids you see here are originally born in Nicaragua, Honduras, Mexico. Several are from half Guatemalan and half Mexican. So we're still working on them, on their cases, but for now we're their moms and dads, and we love them and take care of them.